Hello, I'm the amazing squirrel.
Genesis 17. However, this everlasting possession doesn't happen. History and even the Bible in Acts 7:5 and Hebrews 11:13 tell us that this promise was never kept. So God lied. This everlasting possession, this everlasting possession, this everlasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue with this picture. But don't worry, I'll tell you how it came out.
Well, I want to say to my friend here, Queen Heather, he needs to really educate himself in the language of Hebrew and the Bible. Okay, Mr. King Heather, I'm going to try to explain you seriously this thing you're talking about, the point of that God lied. And the point, because of the point of the everlasting covenant that God made with Abraham. The truth, the things, the first thing I want to not criticize you, actually I want to commend you in your effort to try to do what you're doing. But the first mistake you're making is that, and not only you, also Christians or pseudo-Christians or the people from Christendom, is that you guys, all of you, you have to stop using the King James Version. If you want to study the Bible really, and the Bible is a book for studying and has been studying and keeps being studied, you need an actual updated translation, a modern translation of the Bible, and it has to be what is called a literal translation. There's different translation, and it has to be as literal as possible. But the King James Version, for God's sake, is version from 1611. I mean, some of the words used in English in those days means a completely different thing. I even have a copy here with me of the actual original. This you can see here. It's a copy really of the original printing of this Bible, as you can see here. This is the original image that was printed in the original one. And actually, this one is more archaic than the other one, because Genesis, if you try to read what Genesis, how they spell it, like Genesis, the S, one S looks like an F. Let me show you that part. I don't know if you can see it here. Let me see if you can see it here. You see that? So this one, actually, the language is more archaic. So that's the first thing I'm gonna tell you. You're using a Bible that is completely outdated, and not only you, a lot of Christians, they do that because there's an infatuation with the King James Version. There's a lot of history. I don't have time to go for that. The other thing is the Hebrew. Okay, the text that you quote, that is translated everlasting, the Hebrew word is olam, or olam. I'm not an expert in Hebrew, but I like to be familiar with it, and I have my dictionaries. And olam doesn't mean forever or everlasting. In some cases, it can be. But I'm going to read something here on my other computer, and Olam says here, information that I have carries the thought of indefinite or uncertain time. And here quotes the lexicographer Gesenius. If you don't know who he is, you can look that in the whatever, the computer. But basically, he's the father of the grammatical ancient Hebrew. And here I have his book. Actually, not a very expensive book. You see, I got the. Here we go, Gesenius. Hebrew grammar. Just to get familiar. I'm not an expert in grammar, and I don't think even an expert knows. You know, a language is something that's alive. You cannot feel. You have to feel it. But the point is here. Let me take care a little bit of this, because it seems to be a little distortion here, maybe. Okay, this is the point. It says. This guy says that the meaning is hidden time. That means obscure and long, of which the beginning or end is uncertain. Now, he says that it has a beginning, hour, and an end. You see the point? So there is an end. But that, because it's uncertain, it is indefinite. And another quote I'm going to do here from a Hebrew and English lexicon of the Old Testament. So it says that accordingly, expressions such as time indefinite in Psalm 25:6, indefinitely lasting, Habakkuk 3:6, of old, Genesis 6:4, a long time ago or long ago, and long lasting. This expression can translate correctly this word, Olam. So the shame here is that the majority of the people who translate Bibles, they really don't go deep. I mean, they just go with the easy way, and sometimes they use one word like everlasting to translate all these different words in Hebrew. And if the Hebrew use different words, it's because they have different meanings. So in reality, like in this translation that I have, you see I have many translations and more in my closet and the other closet that I have. Example of this one here. This one here. When this one actually used the expression time indefinite. So you point correctly that the Bible actually shows that, you know, the Israelite, for they to stay there in the land and receive all the blessings that Jehovah promised to them, it all will depend of the people of Israel. You know, it was. If they lose the land or not will depend on them and not from God. God always fulfilled His pact, but the Israelites didn't fulfill their side of the pact. So the curses that are in the Old Testament, in the first 5 books of the Bible, will happen to them. And after they went beyond at the point where no return, you know, well, they brought this to themselves, and that's when the Babylons came and destroyed Jerusalem in the year 607. And the Israelites were foreigners, you know, living in Babylon for 70 years. And then again, it happened in the year 70. So what happened to them in the year 70, it was again what Moses prophesied. that was going to happen to that if they didn't obey the voice of God.